Ladies and gentlemen, I'm literally welcoming you to one of the best videos, if not the best video that you will ever watch about addiction. I promise you two things. If you are addicted, you will never be addicted again. And two, if you're not, you will never get addicted. I'm going to teach you the exact way on how to make any addiction disappear instantly and permanently. I've been a victim of addiction myself at some point or another throughout my life. Yet, I managed to escape it. Not by my conditions gotten better or not by pure luck, but actually by trial and error, and most importantly, by the way that I'm going to teach you today. So, lately, about a month ago, I have analyzed 30 months of my life. 30 months of my life, I tracked 18 metrics, all of them that I thought that had one way or another effect on my life. And I knew with the fact that some of them or some periods of my life were better than others. I knew the best periods of my life where I was in the best stage possible. And matter of fact, the analyze that I did just proved that my hypothesis was absolutely and completely correct. And today, I'm going to give you the lessons that I'll learn from it and how you can do it too. Okay, so the way that I'm telling you right now, everybody can do it. Basically, everybody. You just need to be willing to, you just need to have the desire to delete any addiction permanently. So as you see behind me, there's only 3 steps. 1, 2, and 3. Once you finish the 3 steps, you're completely done, you are free, you are in the complete freedom from any addiction possible. So I'm going to give you a pro tip right now with the first step, which is I invite you to analyze yourself. And it's not as psychological as you might think, because a lot of people analyze themselves, and including me, I always thought that I analyze myself. But the way that I want you to do it, the way that I did it, and it worked best for me because I tried a lot of ways, which is analyze myself as if I am a bank or a business owner. So the way you do it is basically track a few metrics that you think that has an effect on your life. Preferably, they are habits, okay? So track habits. For me, it was 18 habits. It was 18 different habits that I thought had one way or another effect on my life. And the way you do it is basically you make a table. So if you are old-fashioned, you can do it on paper. But the way that I like to do it is on a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet. I'm gonna give you one down below on the description, or just comment below. I'm gonna give it to you right away for free, completely for free, which is you build a table like this or a spreadsheet, and you on the top you make all of the habits you have, whether that being 18, 20 or 10 or 5, whatever that is, okay? And put them all and put the period that you want in the columns, which it can be any period that you can have the track of. For me, it's 30 months. I can track 30 months of my life very easily because I do to-do lists, I do journal, I upload videos, I have a lot of big presence and active presence in social media. So I can basically track every day of my life very easily. So for me, it was 30 months. I divided it by trimesters, so 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. So it gives me 4 sections for every year. You don't have to do it this way, just do whatever works for you. Because for some people, as an example, my friend, I was doing this with him and he said, I actually can't do it because I cannot track 30 months. I can only track 12 months. So whatever you can do, just do it and make sure you do it correctly. So you do that and you track it. You just basically just put the right answers brutally, which is most important. You have to be brutal and you have to be ruthless, because otherwise nothing will work. So you do that. Then you think with yourself, forgetting all of that, you say, what was the best period on the board? And you know this was the best period. Okay, what was the worst period? All right, so this is the worst period. Let's see, how can I track these? Are they measurable metrics of which I put the habits? Is there a patterns that I can follow? And this is exactly what I did. And actually, you will be surprised on how it will be perfectly aligned. Like my best period, it was a perfect score. It was almost a perfect score. It was 17 out of 18 correct answers. And now I'm gonna tell you on how to know the correct answers later on. But the point I'm making here is just answer everything correctly. Then know what's the best period, what's the worst period. And here, you do all of this. I did all of this just to realize one thing, which is to believe and to understand deeply in my unconscious mind that that habit that I have actually affects me negatively and not positively. Because one of the hardest points about addiction is, I've seen it with a lot of people, with my friends including, I ask them about addiction and I say, why do you have this certain addiction? And they simply give me some weird benefits of it. They think it's beneficial, which is the trick. You see a lot of people that do drugs, they convince you how it's actually good, or alcohol, or even that nicotine. They're like nicotine plus caffeine, it's protein. It's like some bullshit. This is exactly what it is. It's bullshit. You're bullshitting yourself. Okay? So we don't want that. I'm sorry. I have to be ruthless with you because this is a very important subject. Okay? So you do that and you are ruthless. Okay? And then you sit with yourself and you comprehend that those habits are actually bad for you. Whenever you do them, your life goes to horrible. Okay? And you comprehend it. Then you make actions, which is the second step. The second step and the third step are actually easier than the first one, which is great. If you've done the first one, you're already great. And I advise you just go do it right now, because for me it took me like 2 hours. It doesn't take so much time, and I tracked 18 metrics. For a lot of people, they don't have to track 18 metrics. Okay? So you have to do that ASAP. I'm telling you, you have to do it today, or else you will never get out of your addiction. The second thing, which is you have to make trackable, you have to make a to-do list. So the way you do it is, out of those 18 things, or out of those 10 habits that you tracked, you have to know the right answer for each one of them. I'm going to give you an example so to clarify this. As an example, I'm going to track the habit of using social media. So I use social media, okay, and for some trimesters, I didn't use social media as much because I was trying to just complete shut off social media dopamine, and at some period I was consuming social media a lot. I understood that. Okay, so I made the comparison between those two periods, like straight. This period I consumed a lot of social media, this period I didn't consume a lot of social media. Amazing. Now I go to the best period that I told you about earlier. I go there and I see, did I consume a lot of social media? Well, the answer was no. And I went to the worst period of my life and I was like, oh, well, it's actually used a lot of social media. And I did this for a lot of periods to realize that the more I use social media, the worse my life gets, right? And the less I use my social media, the better my life gets. And so to clarify this, I'm a social media content creator, right? I did this for 7 years. I'm not talking about posting content more than consuming content, okay? So there is a difference. And this is what I did, right? I just tracked every metric right here. Every metric, the 18, I was sure of every one of them, what is the optimal answer for it, okay? So as an example, a period I did sports, a period I didn't did sport. The period where I did sport was better, the period where I didn't do sports was worse. So the right answer for sports is yes. I have to always check that box of yes. So you do this for all of the 18, whether that being yes or no questions or high, medium, low questions. Basically, that's all you need. It's just whether high or no, yes or no, or high, medium, low. Then after that, that's it. That's the second step. That's it. Third step, which is you put the best answers. So now you have an optimal. I want you to put an optimal column, and you write optimal and you put every best answer of everything. Social media, no. Sports, yes. This, no. This, high. This, medium. Everything. You have the answers set. And you make a to-do list of every day, which is this point. It's the third one. And the reason why I put a clock here, which is always you must remind yourself in a certain point of the day to check those boxes. You don't leave it till the end of the day, because if you've forgotten one or two of the steps, you're screwed. When will you do them? At sleep? I don't think so. So for me, I like to do them at 2 p.m. or 14. And the reason behind it, because I think it's the middle of the day, and even if I didn't accomplish all of them, I can still get the dopamine of checking the boxes. Then I can work on the others because I reminded myself, so I can check all of the boxes later on the day. And as a pro tip, because I love to give you value, which is, if you don't use reminders, and if you do have iPhone, okay, and you don't use reminders, I invite you to use reminders for this specific task. You can put reminders, and you can check, you have the option to choose the date and the time. You can choose the date to be daily, repeated daily, and you choose the time for 2 p.m. or 14, 2 zeros. And for priority, you don't touch anything else. And you just do this for all of the metrics. For me, it's 18. And it will be life-changing, because when you have notification of them, it will always be at the top, which is because of our psychology has adapted with notifications being always the thing that pops up our attention. It will just be a trick to your mind to always be reminded. So the thing that I want you to do from here is a call to action. I call you to practice these. If you desire to delete your addiction, you have to go through these steps. Otherwise, you don't have a chance. If being honest, addictions are not a simple thing, are not very easy to comprehend, and are not very easy to deal with. It's easy. The only way that I found very practical is these 3 steps. And please follow me or share it with one friend. Yeah, share it with one friend. He's addicted, help him out, okay? Just don't subscribe, just help him out, okay?